Hey guys, welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to answer a question about scalp inflammation and hair loss. And there is someone who asked me about if one solves the scalp inflammation, can hair recover by itself afterwards? And I will talk about basically what is scalp inflammation. I will answer that question as well. And I also talk about my experience with scalp inflammation and what was causing inflammation for me and how I was able to basically address that inflammation. And for you who are new to this channel, remember to subscribe so you get notification about latest content that I upload. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome back. My name is Alex and I'm a previously hair loss sufferer who was able to regrow back my own hair. And I'm also a certified trichologist. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about scalp inflammation and answer the question about if it is possible to regrow hair after one has solved the scalp inflammatory problems that is happening on the scalp. And the simple answer to it is yes, it is possible to recover the hair, but it is about timeline, it is about different factors, cause of the inflammation, and how much it has progressed in terms of affecting the follicles. And when it comes to inflammation or scalp inflammation, like what happens is that when there is a scalp inflammatory problem, there is a signs for it. Like for example, there will be a burning sensation on the scalp, itchiness, redness. For example, there would be like things such as imbalance on the scalp. There would be more one day it would be a lot of sebum, for example. Next day it would be a lot of dryness, and it could switch between those two combinations all the time. So this is kind of scalp inflammatory problem, and sometimes one kind of could assume the scalp inflammation is kind of similar to alopecia areata, but it is different. Right? For example, alopecia areata, for example, could be something that could affect one spot, for example, and that would have an itchiness, for example, or a bit burning sensation. But scalp inflammation does affect whole scalp, right? And it also, from my experience, doesn't cause that there is completely bald areas, but it's more like a diffused thinning, especially on genetic alopecia areas that it happened for me. So, and for me, for example, like when it comes to scalp inflammation, what happened is that in terms of timeline, I had those awesome results from taking finasteride and doing several other things in terms of lifestyle and diet improvements up until 2 years. Lost all my gains from treatment, like from finasteride, all I had gained from treatment for 2 years. I lost it all in just 4 months. And scalp inflammation was basically something that led that I was having so much itchiness on my scalp, so much shedding. I just could basically towel dry gently my hair, and I would see a lot of hairs on my towel afterwards. And what happened next is that I basically went to dermatologist because I could not handle it anymore. And I got prescription for steroid, and basically what happened is that I was using steroid, strong steroid like Clobetasol on my scalp, and I was using medical shampoos at the same time as well. And I was able to, after 3 days of application of steroid, my shedding almost went to zero, and itchiness started to slowly decrease day by day. And basically what happened next is that after basically a couple of weeks, I started to notice that my hair started to kind of thicken up again. And it continued basically for a couple of months because I was using off and on steroid. Like there is like an initial time when one uses the steroid, and then basically what happens is that one has to kind of calm or reduce application of it and take longer breaks from it. And I was able to, in around 2-3 months, I was able to basically recover my hair to the point where it was almost to the place where it was before. And I will show you a couple of pictures here as well, so you can see my timeline. And what happened afterwards is basically I had to stop with steroids because there is a kind of limited time you can use them. And then I lost all my gains that I had gained from steroids, and I was almost back to the place where I was before using them. So that's kind of story of me using steroids. And this was kind of like in 2011, for example, for me it was a lot of ups and downs because of that inflammation, because I was kind of firstly introduced to it and I had to understand and do research with it and understand how to solve it. And basically when I was able to fix the inflammation, it wasn't before around 2012, in the beginning of 2012, when I started to understand what was triggers for it, like what I needed to be careful. And basically for me, triggers was gut health, it was the foods, it was a scalp environment, it was also water qualities that I was using, for example, in terms of shower water, and it was also lifestyle, stress. Like those things did affect my scalp inflammation, made it much worse. And when you are having scalp inflammation, medications such as minoxidil, either applied topically, taken orally, or finasteride, dutasteride is not going to have much effect, right? Because scalp inflammation is a much stronger factor that affects the problem on makes hair to fall out, and it's not going to have much effect if you are taking or applying medication when you are having those problems. And basically what happened in 2012 is that I understood those factors that could be causing my inflammation. I started to work on them, and after around 9 months of doing so, I was able to get my inflammation down to almost like a manageable level. Like, it was still going on, but it was almost manageable. My shedding also was finally kind of reduced. And my hair started thickening up. And what happened next in end of 2012 is that I was traveling and I got a sunburn on my scalp, and that re-triggered inflammation once again. Right? And basically I had to solve that problem once again. This time I was able to solve it in around 4-5 months because I already knew what I need to be careful with, but it was still a problem. And after I was able to solve my inflammation, I started with minoxidil application, because prior to that, if I applied minoxidil on my scalp, it just would fire up my inflammation and cause that I was having more hair shedding and more hair loss because of it, and scalp basically got on the fire again. So my point here is that you have to understand the triggers that can cause scalp inflammatory problem, which is, like I said, in my case at least, it was gut health, it was foods, trigger foods, it was lifestyle, stress levels, lack of the sleep, it was scalp health and taking care of scalp, making sure that basically I was using correct shower water in terms of, for example, adding shower filter to my shower, in terms of, for example, using correct shampoos for the problem, shampoo for right skin type, and so on, right? So those things are very important. So those are the kind of triggers for me that did help me to basically, when I understood them and I solved them, then basically my inflammation started to slowly decrease. And then when I got the sunburn, basically it was kind of unexpected experience, expected event, but basically what I did is that I started to work on my scalp itself because of the sunburn, because that was caused by external factor, not internal factor. And when I solved that problem, basically my inflammation was gone for good. And ever since then, now this was back in 2013, around April 2013, I never have had inflammation on my scalp again, right? So all those years I have been able to stay without inflammation. And one big important is, of course, factor is that I have had a good gut health. I have been having a good diet. I'm doing fasting, for example. I'm taking care of my scalp. And if you are struggling with scalp inflammation, let's find out why and what you can do right now to address it. And you can find a link below this video, fill out the form, schedule a session, let's speak, and basically discover what is basically a problem here, what you can do to address it, find the right action steps to solve this problem once and for all, and fix your hair loss and grow back your hair. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and see you next one. Cheers.